Pledge of Allegiance. This is the South Russell Village Council meeting, Monday, November 28th, 2022. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fiscal Officer will take the roll.
Kavanaugh. Here. Felicia.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Bell.
Here.
Berger.
Here. Here. All right, we have minutes of the November 14th special council meeting with the public hearing. Any changes or corrections to those minutes? We have a motion to approve.
No.
By Kavanaugh, seconded by Canton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We have minutes of the November 14th regular council meeting. Any changes or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve? Moved by Kavanaugh, seconded by Porter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We have no visitors. We are now at the mayor's report. The mayor's report, and you all have a copy there. Charlie Simpleman's project, we're going to really look at how to keep the moisture off of that. It destroyed it once. His design needs some work. So street committee, or the street commissioner has this, he's going to work on how to keep the moisture out of it. I met yesterday with an Eagle Scout who will probably attend our January 23rd meeting to propose the installation of a solar panel on the pavilion. So I guess if this is an issue that you're not in favor of, let me know so I can tell Andy to start thinking about something else. He is a senior, so he's on a tight timeline. May the 12th is his 18th birthday. So if that's an issue, let me know.
What's the solar panel going to power?
Probably just the pavilion. He doesn't know. He
The
doesn't
lighting or
know just the light. He doesn't know yet what it can and cannot do. He's got a lot of work to do between now and January.
because that's one solar panel may not adequately cover the problem. That's something that needs to be.
Yes, and it could be a big issue. In February, we may need 4 or 5 solar panels for later. I don't know. That's up to him to figure out.
Is he talking about a roof mounted or
Uh,
standalone?
Guy I talked to, I told him that I wanted to put it on the back of his chimney. A guy who's had some experience said, no, put it right on the side of the building, right next to the chimney. So it wouldn't be so visible from the street, but it would be like hung on the rafters going up. Like on either side of the chimney, maybe 6 inches of could be seen above the roof. The rest of it will be below. But that's just one opinion of one person.
Well, I guess another consideration is, will the pavilion then be taken off the grid? Or will this be a solar panel which contributes to the grid?
He's got to figure that out. There's a lot of issues. How much it's going to cost? He's in a tight situation. Number 3, the group. I don't know how to bang through their heads that we have a lighted flagpole on Bell Road. They said, talking to them, we wanted a lighted flagpole on Bell Road. We have a lighted flagpole on Bell Road. I tried to tell them, let's put a lighted flagpole on the East Washington side. It would look terrific. It's dark over there, and all of a sudden you can see the American flag. They want to see it when more people can see it, so I'm going to talk to these guys again. I don't know what else to say, The resident who lives just south of us in the Central Retention Basin, I told him that we didn't think we were going to put any landscaping around the Central Retention Basin for about a year. He has other concerns. He mentioned lighting from the cemetery shining into his house, and I thought, cemetery's been there 9 years, and he did have somebody drive up his driveway because they thought that was connected to Kensington Green. So I think he's not happy. So I'm going to meet with him. It will not be on Friday the 9th at 8, unless the WACA meeting is at a different time. Village yard sale is gonna be on the next property committee, we know that one. Libby Starkey is a Great Pike's daughter, and we mentioned to her, at our last property meeting, she was there. Just to come up with what they want to do. They're leaning now towards the bench at the top of the hill. So that's between her and her stepmom. EDO and job growth, we're gathering a good database to be established and maintained. Working with the fiscal officer, the building department, and the fire marshal, or the fire prevention officer to get that done. The two kids from Cleveland State have submitted a one-page, did I give that to you, a copy of that?
The location release?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah, they-
I forwarded it on, but I think there is, do you know how many people will be there?
No, I don't think they do either.
Okay,
But anyhow,
we might have to do one of those forms for the park, just considering it's voluminous amount of people, I don't know how many people we're
Okay.
gonna have to. If we're filming.
probably my best comment is I don't think they know yet either. Whether, even how much time, and they also, if President Weekend's lousy, they're not gonna do it. But anyhow, that's coming down the road here. Davy Tree replaced 4 trees that had died along the wetlands. One of them was surprised, we thought we only had 3. Other things for the mayor's report. Chris Berger and I had talked to strategic planners, and we thought we had a good group of guys, and I think we do, but they want $15,000 to do the strategic plan. We have a lot of talent internally. It's something to think about. I think we need to make a decision on December 12th, as to whether we want to go forward with them. Eric has had a medical issue. He will be replaced for the rest of this year by a young man named Brian. Brian will be at your street committee meeting on Friday. That's about all he has. He will bring a list of all of Eric's jobs or his projects. And then he was just gonna sit down, and I did tell Tim to be ready for Friday morning, to just kind of go through. I don't know, medical is all it was. Family Life Center job is done. Got a request last week to, Chief, what do I have to do to get up on the screen?
Go to your screen settings and log in.
All right, I gotta come back in here, right? Okay. Sorry, Mr. Berger told me you can't do 2 things at once. I just demonstrated that. So anyhow, we'll keep moving with Eric, but in talking with Tim and with Ruth this afternoon, and I'm just throwing this out, we have a planning commission meeting Thursday morning to walk that property.
It's a joint meeting, isn't it, of planning commission and council?
Yep,
This week.
It's on the 8th, I'm sorry, it's
On the
on
8th,
December
yeah.
8th at 9 AM,
yes.
we're meeting.
My thought is, this is not rocket science, this is landscaping, that we should continue to go with this. I haven't talked to Steve or anybody yet. If you
I'm
guys-
I'm sorry, Mayor, I got lost. Which piece of property are we talking about?
We're talking about Manabrook Drive. We're
Oh,
gonna walk
okay.
that with the Manabrook Drive residents and the planning commission to figure out adequate landscape screening. My thought is keep it going, since we've known for a while. And again, not to poo-poo landscaping, but it's just landscaping. Maybe if we get a different vibe from this guy on Friday morning. You want to make a decision after your street committee, after you meet him and talk about it on Friday?
I think we should do the walk, because the Manor Brook residents are looking forward to it. The replacement engineer will probably be tasked with finalizing the landscaping plan. As I recall, planning commission wasn't overly impressed by what was presented. And we'll bring that up with the new engineer on Friday for that purpose. Because we were expecting quite a bit different in terms of the landscaping plan for planning commission's review. Now that we've got the brown barn, or the red barn thing somewhat settled. So yes, Mayor, we'll be glad to,
Okay.
unless Councilman Bell has an objection.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll talk this over. Next thing, on this screen over here, this is I drove by the cemetery and I saw these people, and in front of them is a little fire. And this is the second anniversary of this gentleman who died. That's his wife and their son. So every year on the anniversary, they send to the father. They burn paper money so that he has money, and then they send food, which you see there, oranges and apples, to him. It's one of their traditions. It's very interesting. I wondered what was going on. At first it looked like they were grilling, but yeah.
Mayor, what's in the can? Is that pink?
It looks like. No, I don't know. I
Well,
didn't
money
really
is-
want to ask too many questions.
It's a big can.
Big can, maybe with water in it.
Yeah.
Let's hope it's got water in it to
Oh,
the outside.
Doesn't violate our local ordinance.
So I haven't asked this, did they leave the food and stuff there?
you would think.
Yeah, a cemetery that I won't mention in another township has a lot of stuff that just people bring it and it stays there, and after a while, it's not good. Do we have?
It's in our rules, the guys clean it up when we see it. They're not allowed to have the fake flowers, only real flowers. And once they start looking bad, we clean it up. So it's in our rules that go sign off on that, we clean up as we find it.
David Kavanaugh knows what will happen to him if he ever puts a fake flower on my grave.
Anyhow, I didn't ask him a lot of questions, but
You won't be worried about that.
No, he won't be.
it was
Mayor, do you happen to know what cultural belief that is?
The last name's Song, so
Well,
it's Chinese.
Well, I was thinking, or it's something, I just, out of curiosity.
We are learning a lot with the cemetery, they knew this.
Well, no.
It's interesting to do, we see. Okay.
Presumably they were our residents.
Mhm.
the last thing, and I debated whether I'm gonna bring this up. Did anybody get a piece of artwork in their mailbox? And what we decided said, even messy art can be a masterpiece. Stay kind.
I did not.
Good. That's the mayor's report. Questions of the mayor?
I do have one. You mentioned the Federated Church Family Life Center, that the work is done. Do we have a signed agreement?
Not yet. I don't even know where she is.
Okay, remember the motion was that the work could begin, that as long as we had an agreement prior to the work beginning.
Yes,
So the work is actually done, it started and completed.
yes.
As I recall, the motion also specified that the contractor wouldn't be paid until there was such an agreement.
And I have not told you, because I didn't have any agreement.
And we haven't even made the motion to do the work yet. Again, another after the fact issue here.
No, I think the motion was to, I thought it was to abate the nuisance.
Well,
Yeah, I have it.
so we have now introduced and consider for adoption the regulation authorizing payment of costs.
No, that's through the ARPA funds, it's a little bit different. Even if we don't do ARPA, we still are on the hook, and I think we made a motion to actually pay for the half. But I think the issue though was so long as there's an agreement between the village and Federated Church prior to any work being done. And the only concern here, Mayor, is if you recall at the last council meeting, we talked about this from the length. The next day, I had an agreement ready to go. I just want to make sure, I mean, if we don't have an executed agreement, if anything were to happen, I don't have a release, we don't have a waiver.
So was this work that the streets commissioner did on his own initiative?
No, I didn't. Street commission, the contractor said Thanksgiving is coming, my workers are leaving the country, and I work on Thanksgiving. I said, go ahead and get the job done.
I just remember that the wording was very explicit, and I think Councilman Mark, you were very explicit about the agreement being engaged in. So, because right now, there's no compelling reason for them to pay half of any costs. The work is complete, no agreement.
Well, I would say that the motion I made specified there had to be an agreement. I didn't say it had to be a written agreement, which I normally would have. And I think the mayor may have had an handshake agreement with the Family Life Center, but in my view, the contractor proceeds at his own risk. He wants to do the job early, and he does the job, and Family Life Center doesn't sign, then, at least in theory, correct me if I'm wrong, Solicitor, he's out of luck. Or he could be.
Possibly.
Though I can't imagine the village would stiff him. And as I recall, the nuisance ordinance allows us to attach or to put the amount of abating the nuisance as a lien against the Family Life Center.
No, I don't think so.
That's pretty long, that's like the stuff.
You mean as like an actual on taxes, or actually place a lien? I don't know about the lien. I definitely looked into whether or not we can place it on the duplicate. We cannot certify those costs.
I don't think they pay taxes as a religious
Church.
institution.
Okay,
They don't have any tax lien, tax to put on it, but
okay.
certainly it looks to me like if the contractor proceeds before we have that agreement, the contractor does so of his own volition.
I suppose, I guess I was more along the lines of the fact that this was a motion by council,
Oh, it was?
subject to an agreement prior to any work starting.
Again, aggregating procedures that are established. And, again, probably the fifth instance in the past 8 weeks.
Can I just ask if we can get the agreement signed?
Yes, it's with it's in her office. Okay, I don't know, she wasn't there even today. I tried on Wednesday, I tried this morning.
Is anyone else then? Or she like the only one?
No, they have other people. I think I don't know, never met her, I just talked to her.
Is that Sue Taylor?
No. Something, she's in charge of the facility. Questions of the mayor? Fiscal officer, the floor is yours.
I did not have a fiscal officer report. My report was the budget summary.
So if you're very curious or something, regarding the Federated Life Center, so at the last meeting, we did say that we thought we could take the funds, or that's in front of you today, was to pay for that out of our funds for the village and staff. And we thought, all of it would come out of our funds, but in talking to the solicitor after we reviewed it, everything, the legislation before you is for $3,700, so for half of it to come out of ARPA funds, and then the other $3,700 would come out of villages funds, out of stormwater, since they're going to be reimbursing us, they can't reimburse us to the stormwater fund. So that's why the legislation is for $3,700 rather than the whole $7,400. And the other thing I had was for, if you haven't RSVP for the holiday party yet, if you can do so, so we can get a head count. And then I did give everybody a summary for the budget, and the budget is pretty much what the budget was, the wish list budget, what everybody wants.
Hopefully my summary explained, there are things, we're limited by the tax budget that we got from the county, so there's some things we cannot do on the first week of the budget until we get year-end, balances certified. And I gave you a summary of all that, and then once year-end, balances are certified in January, then we can amend the budget to do everything it is you want to do. So before you tonight is also the legislation to adopt the budget for next year.
I have a quick question. I don't have the full budget comparison in front of me, but we had 3 weeks ago. For salaries and benefits, in the last meeting, we approved a 4% raise. Did we put enough in the budget to cover that 4%?
Yeah, I adjusted that. That was the only adjustment I made between what you guys saw last time and this time was the.
And I believe HR was going to review the director's salaries, department head salaries.
And also the salary.
And so we meet for the final time on Wednesday morning.
Wednesday, our next meeting, we're meeting with the outside consultant,
Okay, so we'll be able to
so.
budget appropriately.
That's 2 days from now, Chris? or-
Correct, yeah, Wednesday morning.
That's all I have.
Questions of the fiscal officer? Finance committee.
All right, a special finance committee met on 14 November. The minutes are provided as part of your council packages. I did want to see if the solicitor would try and clarify her correspondence about the Treasury Investment Board and those issues. I do believe there was, some issues about the codified ordinances, that correspondence that you sent out, an email dated 20th November today.
So there is, the Treasury Investment Board is meeting tomorrow to go over, kind of our relationship with Leader Investment Management. There was an ad that went out seeking applications for the one resident member that has to have financial background in the Treasury Investment Board. And I know that we're seeking, that, and there's just a question as to who appoints, the Treasury, that resident member. And the way that our codified ordinance has been amended, it was amended in August, once the fiscal auditor left, we amended a bunch of ordinances regarding the investments and the fiscal auditor. In any event, we amended that to have that appointment be by council. So not, it's kind of strange, I don't know, maybe we should consider amending it, but the appointment is made by a majority of the council. So which is a little confusing only because if the Treasury Investment Board even meets tomorrow, technically we can't really talk about this application or filling this seat. There has to be another special meeting. It's a special meeting just to discuss things with the investment management. So it's just a question of when can they meet again to then talk about possibly an appointment for this resident member.
I guess the other issue might be is, I understand that an invitation's already been extended to one of the candidates to attend tomorrow's board meeting.
That's what I understand.
And, one has not been invited. Is that proper procedure? What can't we talk about at tomorrow's meeting because we have a non-member that will be attending that?
Well, that's okay. I mean, it's a public meeting, so, but we only can talk about the relationship related to investment with Leader Investment. So I think they're gonna present the investment policy, their proposed revisions, and kind of their goals as to what we can and can't do. But that's it. That's all we can talk about tonight.
Is it a public meeting?
It is. We are a public board.
Okay.
So the other candidate could attend?
Of course, anyone can attend.
Solicitor, so with the legislation that we passed,
Yes.
is this an oddity? Did we make a mistake or?
Perhaps maybe it should say that the Treasury Investment Board would recommend it to council who should be, appointed as the resident member and then council approves, or it could be any member of the Treasury Investment Board that makes the recommendation to council upon council approval. you can have the mayor, but it still would usually be subject to council approval. We just kind of said the the one resident of the village with a background in finance, appointed by a majority of council members.
So we should have something about who recommends.
Right, and I mean, you could put in the treasury investment board, make a recommendation to council, you can, the fiscal officer, the mayor, the solicitor's also on that, the chair of finance is also a member.
And we can certainly make it the chair of finance, because it's, well, I don't know.
Mark, how about any member of the treasury board?
You don't want to get multiple recommendations, I'm thinking.
Right, you want a consensus.
You know, maybe a recommendation from the board as a whole.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But we should do that so that they can move forward tomorrow.
We still can't,
do that tomorrow.
unfortunately.
24-hour notice.
Right, the purpose was literally just to have a meeting with, meter investment.
We could fix it so this doesn't come up the next.
Okay.
Of course,
All
sure.
right, so let's fix it.
So we should introduce an ordinance amending, what's the section number, Brian?
235.02 of the codified
Five
ordinance.
point oh two of the codified ordinances, the village of South Russell, such that the board will make a recommendation to fill a vacancy as needed, new council, for approval by a majority of council. Does that do the job?
Sure. Appointed by, recommended by the Treasury Investment Board, subject to approval by a majority of council members.
Declaring emergency and move the way for the reading.
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh. Gordy.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Gordy.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
So since the 4 people that are on the treasury investment board are here,
We still have 24 hour notice provision. So you still can't do anything tomorrow, but,
But we can talk to meters for the purpose.
right, you can talk to Peter and you can bring it,
We can say that.
We could have another special meeting.
yeah.
any other questions from the finance committee? Solicitor, the floor is yours.
First, that location release, that the CSU students asked you to sign there. I don't know if you've submitted it to all council, but we should probably move to approve it and authorize you to sign it on behalf of the village.
Without the details as to how many people are going to be there or anything.
I think that'll be another form that'll have to be filled out with respect to our policy.
Okay.
Especially if they're bringing alcohol.
Well, I mean, I don't know what are they bringing, maybe?
Hansel and Gretel. The witch.
All right, so why don't we do this? I'll make copies, and then Jared can bring it up since it's a park issue. We can bring it up and approve it in a few minutes.
Sure, and again, we'll just take, I think, a motion at this point.
Okay.
I might make a comment, we know exactly what these kids are doing. I mean, we know exactly what it's.
I have no information, other than the location, release, and it's Hansel and Gretel.
Maybe they should appear before the park committee and describe what they're going to do.
And then have the park committee recommend it council.
Yep, I think that's a great idea.
And then we'll get some more details, who, how many, what are they gonna, I mean, you know, if they're running through the woods, that's fine, but if they're doing it with flaming torches, chasing, you know,
Clap.
the witch or whatever, you
Gonna stay
know.
in nature, perhaps.
Well, you know.
It's not Hansel and Gretel, but I remember. Okay,
It's not.
It's the zombie version.
Zombie version, even better. Are Hansel and Gretel the zombies or are they chasing the zombies?
Hansel and Gretel are always good.
Except when they're naked.
all right, so at the next Park Property Committee meeting, we will Zoom with these people. We're allowed to Zoom with them?
No.
No, you're gonna make them come out here?
Yeah.
Guys, come on. They could have come here,
That's the way the state says we have to do it.
they could have come here and just filmed without us ever even knowing, but okay.
Well, but they asked, and that's proper.
And
And they're
that's,
filling stuff out, that's also proper.
Why not just throw it?
And by the way, this is good training if you're gonna be a film director and getting municipal authority, you know.
And they did, they
And
reached out to us.
they're doing it right. And we
so
should,
let's
you know,
follow the
and
process.
also, we wanna know what the heck they're gonna do.
Anything else, Elizabeth?
Yes, so today I got a phone call from Ruth Griswold in the building department. So she sent out a batch of forfeiture letters recently with respect to deposits, where someone hasn't commented on the final inspection, that sort of thing, sent out on November 18th. She received a phone call today from a property owner who wants to appeal the, the notice, because it had been already 30 days, the 10-day is what they just received. Basically saying, listen, we haven't heard from you, so it's now going to be forfeited to council or to the village if in fact you do not appeal within 10 days. Our codified ordinance requires that appeal to be sent to council by certified mail within 10 days of the date of the notice. Which means we probably have to look at that again, because 10 days from the date of the notice would be today. It doesn't say business days, it doesn't say from the date of receipt, which we're sending it by certified mail. The point is, Ruth asked if the homeowner could drop it off to the village today, which apparently the homeowner did drop off the letter to the building department. My question is, will council consider waiving the requirement for certified mail? And at least for this specific property owner, it's 26, I'll find the address, but just for this property owner, so in order to at least accept the appeal as timely, if you will, because at least they submitted it. Otherwise, they're gonna be out of time. It's 26 Woodside. So my question is, would council consider a motion to waive the requirement for the certified mail appeal, since they dropped it off today, and at least consider that as now timely? I'm just looking for a motion.
Should we do that for everything?
I don't know. I mean, this is the only one she received a phone call from. I don't know.
Perhaps we should call it a delayed appeal.
But it is it's probably timely, because again, she at least dropped it off today, which is 10 days. It just wasn't certified mail.
Sure, the ordinance says they have to do it by certified mail.
Correct.
So,
If you waive that certified mail requirement just for this individual who at least came forward.
rather than say dispense with certified mail, we vote to accept their delayed appeal.
Are you then making them send it by certified mail after?
No, we're
Okay.
accepting their delayed appeal. Like the rules of appellate procedure, right?
Kind of, I mean, I still am kind of having a thing with the words, because I feel like it's timely, it just wasn't sent certified. So then,
It's not timely because it wasn't certified.
okay,
I don't mean
But
to
we
draw
had,
a lawyer
we
line
also
here,
had
but
holiday in there too.
we did, and I think that was part of the problem, to be honest with you. I don't think anyone, her certified mail return receipt was returned to the village, dated, signed on November 23rd. So, and then I'm gonna ask, actually after this, if perhaps building committee can consider we amend that ordinance, instead of the date of the notice, the date of the receipt of the certified mail return receipt, or something like that, the date of the receipt, because 10 days should probably run,
and clarify that the 10 days is business days,
or something,
excepting not counting
holidays,
holidays,
weekends.
yeah.
However you wanna do it, I'm just wondering if you will. She asked if council would at least consider, accepting, like you said, a delayed appeal or waiving the requirement for this individual to have sent it by certified mail and calling it timely since they deposited it today.
It was a 26 Woodside.
It was 26 Woodside, which I have a last name, but I apologize. I don't know if that's an avenue, a drive, a lane.
Right. Woodside, right.
Did Ruth receive it and give the property owner some kind of receipt?
She has an email exchange. Yes.
I move that we
Mark,
grant,
can I ask a question first? Is there a reason why personal service is, the fact that it was served upon the village by hand is we don't allow that? Is there a reason why we don't?
There is not, but our ordinance says
Well, I understand.
certified mail. The reason, I mean, in the legal world, as you know, you can do it by a variety of methods.
Yeah.
And hand delivery is the best. right?
Well, and that's why I'm suggesting that maybe what we want building department to do is look at amending that ordinance, their procedure to say that it can be hand delivered
Or certified.
or certified. And if it's hand delivered, then there should be a date stamp in the building department that the document is date stamped was received on that date.
And as I understand it, this homeowner, it was a pool that was put in, the final inspection never was conducted, and as I understand it, the builder, contractor of the pool was no longer in business.
Might not just strike out the certified mail, just
Well, because
So we could do either, maybe
either
either
or, you gotta pay
That
for
was
the cost.
just no
There it
errors to deliver, including by email.
Yeah, I mean, you can do, that's gonna be my suggestion to the building committee.
Okay.
As long as it's a written record, there's no doubt about when it was sent, when it was
So
received.
follow the solicitor's suggestion in the building department and then provide council with a proposed amendment to the ordinance.
Are you free Thursday?
I am,
We have an 8 o'clock meeting.
sure,
Do you know the
You
ordinance?
are welcome.
I do. It is 144, hold on a second. It is 1440.06, subsection F.
So do we have to take action, do we accept this today?
I think I would ask for a motion, and if that carries, great, I'll let you
Leave that
know,
work.
otherwise I don't know what to tell this woman.
I move that, village council accept the delayed appeal filed by the residents at 26 Woodside Drive for the purposes of contesting the forfeiture of the inspection fees paid in connection with their construction project. So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Do we have a second?
Yeah. Very
Yeah, I
good.
second.
I will let Ruth know tomorrow, and then I would expect probably something in December, maybe in January, on the actual appeal itself. If the homeowner wants to come forward to council, but I would assume this would be on the next agenda.
You should probably add it there. Let her know.
Okay. We haven't voted yet. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We did. I got her tonight, so.
Okay. I don't know if we need to-
Solicitor, you still got the floor.
I think that's it. Thank you.
Street committee.
Mayor and street committee will be meeting December 2nd at 7:30 a.m. and we look forward to meeting Eric's hopefully temporary replacement as the village engineer. The topics will include next year's road program, PCI indexes, and other matters. That's all for us, street committee.
Questions of the street committee? Building committee.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Building committee will meet this Thursday, December the 1st at 8 a.m. at the building office. This time I yield to building committee member, Councilman Crystal.
Thanks. First and foremost, thank you to council for agreeing to have a special council meeting 2 weeks ago with the citizens of South Russell regarding potential of permitting the ordinance to allow goats on properties of less than 2 acres. I think it was a good example of local government working with the constituents. That being said, about a week later, I received a communication from Patrick Holtz saying some things have changed since the meeting on a personal level with their family, so there's no need to go any further with the goat issue on account of them. I believe they'll either delay or terminate this issue for now. We can talk about that in the building committee, just to confirm what we're gonna do, but I'd say for now, as far as council is concerned, we do not need to move forward at this time.
So this is a withdrawal of his
This is
petition.
a withdrawal by Mr. DePrince.
Questions of the building committee? Chief,
No report.
how did the turkey trot go?
Very well.
Good.
Thank you.
How many people?
1,500.
Wow.
Yes, it was busy.
Safety Committee.
Wait a minute, who wore the turkey outfit?
It wasn't me.
The only thing the safety committee has to report is that the Valley Enforcement Group, Council of Governors, will meet on December 2nd at the Methodist Church in Trinity Falls.
And the meeting is this Thursday.
Yeah. that's-
Questions of the Safety Committee? HR Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. HR Committee met on 17 November. Call your attention to a couple of issues. Number one, there has been during COVID, numerous cases of fraudulent unemployment filings. And I call the council's attention just so that they know what's going on. We've had 3 that have been filed against the village that we know are fraudulent. We have reported them as fraudulent. They have not been administrated, if you will, as of yet, and we are continuing to receive billings because the way we handle unemployment in the village is that we pay it directly. So the fiscal officer has not been paying those bills. They do not show up on the accounts payable list. They are set aside. We have reviewed the issue with our outside consultant, Nancy Gavin, who has advised us don't pay them. And so we simply want to make council aware of the situation so that there's no concern that the fiscal officer is not taking care of bills properly, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to make that very clear in the record that hopefully the powers that be will administrate these and declare them as fraudulent and reverse all of their billings here shortly, but we can't control those government agencies. So if there are any questions, please, on that issue.
Well, we're not about to pay a fraudulent bill, so I think the fiscal officer and the committee have done excellent work in identifying and locally denying the payments.
Yeah.
If we pay that, we'll never get it back.
Exactly, and so it's all the fiscal officer, so I'm just the conduit here, so. So I want you to make you aware of that. Okay. According to the agenda, there are 2 issues that fall under human resources, so that need to be motioned, and so I'll do that at this time. The first issue is every year we offer to our employees a incentive for them to go take a physical. This is an advantage to us to have our employees take care of their health because it reduces hopefully our health costs. So, but every year, so I would like to make a motion to renew the annual medical physical incentives to employees in the amount of $250 for the year 2023.
Second.
How many people, or how many of our employees, without naming names,
As of today, 13 of the 17.
very good.
So I think it's a very cost-effective program and we should continue it, but we'll do it on an annual basis and make that motion so that we can review that it continues to be successful.
We started $100 and then 1 person.
Right.
Now we got 13.
At 250, yeah.
Excellent. Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Thank you. The second motion is in regard to the medical waiver incentive from insurance coverage. And what we have previously done is we have offered employees on an annual basis $1,000. And it's paid quarterly, $250 a quarter. As an incentive that if they don't need insurance coverage or if they don't need spousal insurance coverage because of other coverages, that it would reduce the total cost to the village by not duplicating insurance coverages. We proposed this year to raise the incentive from $1,000 to $2,000 annually, paid $500 quarterly, as an incentive for our employees to really review and look and see if such duplicate coverages are necessary and can they be reduced. Obviously, again, our health insurance costs went up 16.1%, and they'll continue to go up every year. So if we have employees that have duplicate coverages that aren't needed, then if we can take them off our insurance rolls, that's money that we can save. They're not going to get paid twice by the insurance companies. So it's a benefit to us from a cost standpoint. So I make the motion to increase the medical waiver to $2,000 annually, pay $500 per quarter, as an incentive for the insurance coverage of our employees. So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I just have one question. Is it possible that $2,000 might place them in another tax bracket? Could affect their
I need to figure that out.
It's possible, certainly. Okay.
If that were the case, we'd have the option of keeping the village's insurance and remain below the next tax. But we're trying to incentivize people, if their spouse or significant other has insurance and can carry them, not to be on village insurance. Yes. Okay.
Excellent. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you. Subject to Councilmember Kavanaugh's comments, that concludes the report.
No, just that, we're looking forward to finalizing that tiered salary thing that we've been talking about and falling over for months. You may see smoke come out of the building on Wednesday morning, but
It will be white smoke.
Okay, kudos to the fiscal officer for catching the employment, the unemployment
Yeah.
situation.
I think it says 3 against Little South Russell. What's going on?
Well, there was a lot statewide, there was a lot of major problems, it happened during COVID. So we got the first one that I caught it, and then we got 2 more, we've done everything we're supposed to do. And when you call and talk to again, they're like, don't pay the bill because we know it's fraud, but then you check the website and it says, don't pay, it's fraud, but then they keep sending you bills every month that are growing penalties, but when you talk to him, they're saying they're paid. So I just wanted to kind of, everybody's figured out that I'm doing what I'm told to do, so.
It's disturbing.
Property committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier, the mayor filed his mayor report because a number of issues, plus we have to think about the restaurant facility, the new restaurant facility at the park. So I'd like to call a special parks meeting, the first, with Monday evening, the 5th of December, a week from today at 7 p.m. here at the hall. Would that work for you too?
I think so. I didn't bring my calendar.
When is the period?
A week from today, that's the 5th of December.
What time?
At 7 p.m.
I can do that.
Okay, so I would like, I believe it would prove for me to call for a special property meeting. Next Monday, December the 5th, at 7 p.m. here at the hall.
And did you get the information from Councilman Bell was saying about the Nature Works grants for those toilets?
And the other thing that you have to remember too with toilets, I know the mayor was trying to get something ordered by the end of the year due to price increases. But if you can get a grant, you may have to get the grant before you order the toilet. You have to make sure you do it in the right order. So if you order the toilet to save money, you may not get the grant. So you better make sure.
Okay, well, we're going to finalize things hopefully on the 5th.
Okay.
Okay? That's all I have.
Questions of the property committee? We have a public utilities committee.
Mayor, Public Utilities will have a special meeting this Friday, December 2nd at 9 a.m. here at Village Hall. And we'll be talking about things such as the Eastland, Parkland, and others. And I'll send you an agenda, Danielle, tomorrow so that you can post it properly. Subject to any comments by Councilman Berger, that completes the Public Utilities report. Right?
Questions of the public utilities? Okay, ordinance resolutions, Mr. Murray, you want to keep the table?
Keep it table,
Keep the
please.
table. Okay, looks like we're gonna do a lot here. Payments, Dennis, you want this one?
Let's see, let's see who the legislation is.
Moving money.
I don't know if that one was
I think the second one's
teed up to me.
stormwater.
I think so, but let's see. Okay.
Stormwater or money, okay, you can do stormwater.
Yeah,
So-
really quick, if it's the one on the ARPA funds for the Federated Church, the resolution that, we're going to be discussing, I would recommend be on first reading because the executed agreement is an attachment. It's supposed to be an attachment to this resolution.
All right. So I'd like to do first reading of a resolution authorizing payment of costs from the ARPA fund for cleaning out the Congregational Disciples Churches of Chagrin Falls, Federated Incorporated, Stormwater Retention Fund to reduce and recapture stormwater in the village and abate a public nuisance causing pollution and contaminating the waters of the village and declaring and first reading.
Okay, next one, streets.
Thank you. To introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance approving the authority of the Director of the Ohio Department of Transportation to apply, maintain, and repair standard longitudinal pavement markings and erect regulatory warning signs and state highways inside the village corporate limits, remove snow and ice, use snow and ice control material on state highways inside the village corporate limits, and perform maintenance and or repair on state highways inside the village corporation. Declaring an emergency, move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh. Aye. Ricky.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh. Aye. Ricky.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye. Ordinance passed. All right, the next one is the joint purchase agreement, since this is purchasing a restroom, which is part of the property, but Councilman can't do this one.
And I would like to introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance authorizing the village of South Russell to participate in government joint purchasing cooperatives designed by the mayor of the village and declaring an emergency and waive further reading.
Need a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh. Aye. Ricky.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye. Move to adopt.
Second. Kavanaugh. Aye. Ricky.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Ordinance passed. Thank you. Back to public utilities.
Just a question for the solicitor, this is a second reading. Is there any reason we can't waive further readings and adopt? Because I don't recall why we did a second reading.
Well, because the engineer wasn't here to give us the dollar amount,
That's right.
so, is for, to allow the engineering planning to come out of the ARPA funds, the engineering of the, Central Retention Basin to come out of the ARPA funds. He gave us a dollar amount, no, I think it was up to 5,000.
You did give a dollar.
I believe, on that one, we did.
So since we have the number, we can now just proceed. Okay. Second reading of a resolution authorizing payment of costs to village engineers, planning and assessment activities and pre-project development of the Central Retention Basin Project and eligible stormwater management project from the ARPA fund, declaring an emergency, move to waive further readings.
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh. Aye. Ricky.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Berger.
Aye.
Canton.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Kavanaugh. Aye. Lippy.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Burger.
All right, public utilities again.
This is for the reforestation of the Headwater project that Vince got rid of here, and the engineers did not get back to me on the cost for that, so. perhaps-
Second reading only.
Yeah.
So we should bring this up on Friday.
Correct.
Okay. Second reading of a resolution authorizing payment of costs for revegetation, reforestation of the Village Hall Headwater, Section 319 NPS Restoration Project from the ARPA Fund, declaring an emergency, second reading.
Okay, next to finance.
Can I ask the question on that, is NPS, is that National Park Service?
I think it's the National Pollutant, I forget what that's, what it stands for. Sorry.
Okay.
It's something through the Ohio,
So EPA,
EPA, okay.
sorry. National Permit System, or something.
permit.
Pollutant permit, sorry.
I'd like to introduce and consider for adoption an ordinance transferring from the income tax fund to the safety fund, $250,000, to the operating fund, $200,000, and to the general fund, $100,000, declaring an emergency and waiving further readings, so moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Kavanaugh.
Aye.
Lippy.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Burger.
Aye.
Canton.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Kavanaugh. Aye. Lippy.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Burger.
Aye.
Canton.
Aye.
And I did put the appropriations on there, but we have to wait for the tiered salaries and the adjustments you made. We'll wait until the next meeting.
Ordinance passed. Okay, Dennis.
Is this the one that the fiscal officer just recommended that we
Wait on.
Wait.
Okay. And given those costs, that we also, boosted the incentives, we'll have to budget for those costs as well, so.
Should we go first reading or should we just?
Well, no,
read
because
it?
it lists the dollar amount, so if we change the tiers or change anything, then what you introduce is gonna be amended.
Okay.
There's the bills list.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to ratify the bills list of November 15th, 2022, in the amount of $130,092.24, so moved.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor, say-
Mayor, please, roll call.
roll call on this one.
Kavanaugh. Aye. Lippy.
Aye.
Porter.
Aye.
Bell.
Aye.
Burger.
Abstain.
Canton.
Motion passed. Do other.
Kavanaugh.
No, just working forward, and I owe you a house synopsis for December, so I'm sure you're gonna get that to me by Friday. And that'll be okay.
And if anybody has news or articles to look into this, Lippy, you want to,
No.
Porter?
Just one note on the Federated Pension Fund business with the contractor. Tim Alder also reached out to me to get my views on the topic of whether the contract to start early. And for the reasons I've already stated, I thought it was okay by me that they proceed. And it wasn't just the mayor and Tim, it was more than that. Thank you.
Bell?
I have no.
Burger?
And I also confirmed, starting with the contractor. So, there was some discussion, we have under new other, we have ratified a turkey trot. Is there something we have to do for that?
I think in the past, they've come to council to ask for permission. Somehow it got lost between the different coordinators that they didn't appear in front of us to ask permission.
Okay.
So basically, it's.
But they did come to you.
Yes, yeah, they came to us months ago, but they were supposed to show up at a council meeting. The guy kind of forgot about it. The confusion lies in that Chagrin Falls doesn't require them to go in the permission. They just handle it with the police department. And their philosophy was that the police department is the ones that are responsible for closing the roads, only one authorized to close the roads. So they handle it directly with the police department. That's what happened with us, but we missed that step. So going forward, I don't know if we can change the way we do business, or should we just have them continue to come for permission?
Seems like the safety committee,
Sure does. So Dennis, you want to make a motion to ratify the turkey trot that occurred on Thursday, November 24th?
I respectfully, I had the word, the chief and safety talk about how this should be done in the future.
But I respectfully decline, given the fact that this is another after-the-fact piece of legislation. And I'm opposed to post-facto ratifications.
So if we don't ratify it, does that cause a problem?
Well, there may be another council member who would make that motion there.
Okay, somebody want to ratify, make a motion to ratify the turkey trot that occurred on Thursday, November 24th.
I will happily, make a motion to ratify, just to say that we gave them permission to come. The turkey trot of this past Thanksgiving morning, and, in fact, we can't put it in motion, that we compliment the police chief for working on holiday, but ratify. Move.
Need a second?
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passed. We are adjourned.
Well, we're not, Jerry, do you have any
Oh,
other?
I'm sorry.
Yes, concerning the Cleveland State University students filming our part, would you be kind to contact them, if possible for you to contact them, to invite them to our December 5th meeting?
Let me make sure that that works for me. I'll get back to you tonight, on December 5th. I'm just unsure.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure, but not 100%.
December meeting.
And I'll include you again, I'll let you know.
I'll wait for your emails down on that.
I'll call you tonight, Susan.
Okay. That's it.
Jerry, anything on behalf of properties committee as far as going into executive session to discuss the sale of property, purchase of property, and or pending or imminent litigation?
Yes, I would like to call,
Or we could do that at the end. We can do an executive session.
yes. Be fine.
Oh, he is.
Yes, the last one.
I didn't realize that. I didn't-
Go for it.
Is there a motion?
I would like to make a motion that everyone who is present is welcome to the executive session here this evening concerning a purchase of property, potential purchasing of property.
Pursuant to section 121.22, open parens G, closed parens, open parens 2 of the Ohio Register.
Are we including the chief in this, Jerry?
Do you think we should? Yes, we should.
Try to get you out, chief, sorry.
Second.
Okay, Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Licky,
Aye.
Porter,
Aye.
Bell, Ritter,
We are in executive session at.
Hold it. Now you are.